Katie on the call, but I always love picking the brain of our good friend, Mr. Mark Jones. Mark, it's Dave. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I'm interested to see how the rest of this trip plays out for the Kings. Get back on the uptick a little bit. That New York game was just one of those games, Dave. You guys know.
Yeah.
It's some nights in the NBA you're going to be the windshield, and you're going to be the bug, not the windshield. So that's what happened. Easy one to write off, and that's what Mike was saying after the game too.
Sure. Well, and you see, with all of your different hats you wear, you've seen a lot of these teams play and talk to a lot of these teams and their coaches and players. I really, I love Julius Randle in Kentucky, and then I cringed when he hurt his leg his rookie year. It was terrible. I've always followed Julius very closely, and he is an incredible talent. But there's always been that asterisk with him. And I got to tell you, Mark, I don't know if I was missing something, but the guy goes for 27 in the first half. And then you were right there. He gets that technical foul and he goes right over to the next ref, gets the other tech, gets tossed against a good team in the Kings. Mark, that's the type of stuff that people who watch basketball a long time, you see it every once in a while when a player's down 18 and they just want to hit their early showers. I was flabbergasted by that.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody had had smoke for that one official that night, and that happened right in front of Katie and I. Julius had gotten fouled on a sequence and was laying on the court and walked directly to the official. I can't remember which one it was, but you could tell from the moment he confronted the official that he wanted to get his money's worth out of this. He wanted to get it technical. I'm not sure that he banked on the second one. That was different when he walked over to the other official, but that first one, he wanted that. He wasn't going to leave until he got a technical foul. And I'm like you. I remember seeing Julius Randle as a rising senior going into high school on the AAU circuit and at the Jordan All-Star game that I covered in New York. And fantastic player, great talent, wonderful teammate, unstoppable motor. He plays so hard. He's one of those guys that you just love having on your team. But, it's the same old story. Sometimes the things that make you great are the things that hurt you. And that certainly hurt the Knicks, although it didn't impact the final score, unfortunately for the Kings.
Mark Jones with us. Just a quick aside from the Kings. I was telling a story earlier that Monday night, both LeBron James's kids and Carmelo Anthony's son faced off in a high school matchup. Mark, I was having a midlife crisis on the air, going through things that make me feel old, and I don't know that much is
one of those senior moments.
So I want to ask, I want to ask you, because you are a jack of all sports here. Who do you think has more pressure on them coming up, Bronny James or Charlie Woods?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm rolling that around in my head all day.
Yeah, that's wow. You know what, man? I would say Bronny probably right now. But although I think golf is a little bit more insulated for Charlie Woods probably, although maybe not much because Tiger's reach is so vast. It's like LeBron. It's not just here, it's global, right? So I would say maybe just a hair, Bronny, but not by much. That's hard, man. I remember Austin Rivers growing up in Florida because Doc Rivers and I are good friends. And I saw some of the things that he went through as the son of a prominent person. And, no disrespect to Doc, but that's still not LeBron or Tiger, right? Sure. And, kids like that, they work extra hard to prove that I'm not that coddled 3 cars in the driveway kid that you think I am when you're covering me on defense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's their motivation, and it's a different kind of motivation, but it can be equally as potent in making them ultimately successful. So, I think Bronny and Carmelo's son, Kyan and Charlie ultimately might find that to fuel them. It usually is, and it works.
Mark Jones with us. voice. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark, I cut you off.
No, I was going to say, because Bronny's not a scrub, right? I mean, you've all seen him. He may not be, super duper 5-star straight to the pros material, but, he's a 4 or 5-star player and a power conference player. So, yeah.
I want to bring it back, actually, now as we talk to Mark Jones, voice of the Sacramento Kings. Kyle and Katie on the call tonight. And, of course, pregame starts right here, 3:30 on Sactown Sports. I can bring that back to the Kings. And another thing we were talking about earlier, the Ringer had a great article on Domantas Sabonis they put out about an hour ago with a lot of stats backing up just what a wonderful year he's having, how he's blossoming. And I was trying to make a similar point to what you just made about Sabonis is, he grew up the son of international NBA royalty. He'd never had to worry about food on the table. Arvydas, for us old heads, is a legend and would be even more legendary had he spent more time in the NBA. And now his son comes in. And, Mark, you've been around him more than I have. He comes off with this almost shy but very humble demeanor to him.
Yeah, incredible humility and gratefulness. There are players in this world that have accomplished less that act like they've accomplished more.
Yeah.
He's incredibly talented. I mean, I watched Arvydas play, his dad, and I understand why Domas is so humble, both on and off the floor, and a great passer. I saw Arvydas play in, I think it was the 1985 World Championships against the USA, and he had a dunk on David Robinson that I thought, I'm like, man, David Robinson might never recover from this. I mean, he could fly, and before Arvydas, I watched Arvydas play in Spain and with the Russian national team, and at that time it was still Russia, before he had his Achilles tear, and he was phenomenal. He was a 7'1" dude with bounce. Okay, and basketball skill and shooting, and getting back to Domas, just a great guy to be around, a fantastic locker room guy, and you look at part of Keegan Murray's success. I asked Keegan the other day, "Hey man, who's your vet? Every rookie's got a vet. Who's the guy that's looking out for you and making sure that the guys don't make you bring donuts on every game, every road trip?" He said it's Sabonis. He said, Domas is my guy. He takes care of me. He makes sure I'm, all right. He checks on me with texts, and that's his guy. So fantastic teammate. And I saw that article too. The numbers show that he's one of the most efficient and prolific players in the NBA if you break it down mathematically. And, I figured when Mike got the job, this is what our offense is going to be looking like. It's going to be supercharged with him distributing from the elbow. And that's what it's proven to be right now. Wake up this morning, they're number 6 in offensive rating.
Last thing for you, and again, this is more of a generalization, but I love having these talks with you, Mark. People that have watched this game for a long time, and you talk about Arvydas, Vlade Divac, obviously, when he came over to the Lakers, the late, great legend, Drazen Petrovic, and once upon a time, these were, no pun intended, trailblazers that really paved the way. And now you look, Mark, Giannis, Luka, you've got all these guys that just are the best. Nikola Jokic, the best in the game. It really, truly has developed, I think, into a better game because the whole world's involved now. Yeah,
it's incredibly global. So, my wife and kids and I take a trip over to Athens, Greece this summer to get away and just have a little family fun time. And I ended up going to the basketball court that Giannis played on as a kid in his neighborhood.
Wow.
And we walk on the court, and the wildest image I saw was some young teenage kid is wearing an Allen Iverson Denver Nuggets jersey while playing. That's how global the game is, right? An Allen Iverson Nuggets, not a Sixers jersey, but a Nuggets jersey. And it was kind of bizarre to think, the game is so global, and it's become enhanced because of, we all know about Dream Team 92, and you walk over there and on the streets of Europe, and people know who these NBA stars are. They stay up and watch the games at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and the game's so popular. And the skill of these international teams is shown in the fact that our margin of victory with USA Basketball continues to get slim and slim. Even though I think we do still have the best team and the best players, the gap is certainly closed. And I mean that with all respect to our international basketball family.
That's Mark Jones, the voices of your Sacramento Kings, 4 o'clock tonight against Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers right here on Sactown Sports. And, of course, you can catch it on TV each and every time. Appreciate you, Mark.
Love having you guys. Love being on with you guys. Keep up the great work.
All right, we will see you soon. Thanks so much. You take care. That is Mark Jones on the fly. I mean, really, I asked him with Sean's cancellation.